Hey everyone, welcome back to another Zook Politics video. We are currently at 56 subscribers. 56 subscribers. We're doing a lot better than I initially expected. My initial goal was to get to 50 by election day, and we are clearly doing a lot better than that. So my goal now, I'd say, is to get to 100 subscribers by election day. So if you guys can make that happen, please subscribe. Please send these videos to your friends. Whatever you have to do, please support my channel. It would mean the world to me. Moving on to the topic of today's video. Today I have the toss-up map as it is. I didn't want to waste time filling it out because I've done that many times on the channel so far. Other videos are linked. Please look at those as well. But today I wanted to really analyze the one state that I think is going to be the most important in this election, and that would be the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, I believe, will be a tipping point state, and if Donald Trump is able to hold on to Pennsylvania, it would likely ensure him a second term, I believe. Now, at this point, mail-in voting has not been so good for Republicans in the state of Pennsylvania, which is obviously something that's good for the Democratic candidate Joe Biden. However, we've obviously have seen Donald Trump be able to mobilize his support to get his voters out to the polls. And if he is able to do that on election day, able to turn out Western Pennsylvania, cut into some of the margins in the suburb, even come remotely competitive in Allegheny County where Pittsburgh is, he has a realistic shot at carrying the state. In my current predictions, I generally give it as a lean or a likely state, which might be overly optimistic for Joe Biden. But really looking at it, delving into the polls, that is what trends have for the state of Pennsylvania. But it definitely is possible for Donald Trump to win here. And when you give Donald Trump Pennsylvania, it opens up a number of paths. If he's winning Pennsylvania, he's likely winning the state of North Carolina by a lean margin. I've given Donald Trump North Carolina many times in my previous predictions by a tilt margin. It's definitely possible for him to win by a lean. At this point, I do have Joe Biden winning by a tilt margin in the state of North Carolina. That can definitely change. And we see that Donald Trump does have a lot of appeal in the rural areas of the state surrounding really those big three cities in North Carolina. So North Carolina would go lean. Florida would go tilt for Donald Trump, which is not impossible, but really those are states that we're giving concretely to Donald Trump at this point. We're saying that Pennsylvania will be the most important state. So I'm just going to leave those as safe for now. We see Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona on the map. The reason why Pennsylvania is so important is because a state like Michigan is likely going to go for Joe Biden. He's likely going to overperform Hillary Clinton here. It was Donald Trump's smallest margin of victory, about 0.2%. He wasn't necessarily supposed to win the state of Michigan. He pulled through. He ended up winning. But personally, I think that Michigan will go for Joe Biden. And I'm just leaving these as safe for now because I really want to delve into the state of Pennsylvania and show that Donald Trump winning it or Joe Biden winning it opens up a number of key paths for both candidates. So Michigan would go for Joe Biden, as well as the state of Arizona. In this hypothetical, we are giving to Joe Biden. Even if Joe Biden does that, he is at 259. He flips 27 electoral votes that Hillary Clinton did not receive. Additionally, Joe Biden can win Wisconsin as well. If Joe Biden wins Wisconsin, then Donald Trump has to win the state of Pennsylvania, and if he holds on to those two districts, he would tie with Joe Biden. And if he's able to flip a state like New Hampshire, which we have seen that Donald Trump has rallies here recently, he is popular in this state, somewhat popular. He lost it by a very small margin. So to see Trump potentially come in within a tilt in the state of New Hampshire is not impossible. As of now, I think that Joe Biden is definitely the clear favorite. But it just shows you that having a state like Pennsylvania go for Trump opens up a number of paths. If he's able to win a state like New Hampshire, hold on to those districts, lose Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona, he would narrowly win the presidential election. So it just shows you that Biden can flip a number of states if even if he does flip those states, if Trump is able to potentially win a state like New Hampshire and hold on to Pennsylvania. He really just has to hold on to this one Rust Belt state and everything else that he won by reasonable margins, and he would get a second term, which is really why the state is so important because, for example, giving Michigan to Donald Trump, and having Pennsylvania won by Joe Biden, even if Donald Trump is able to hold on to a New Hampshire or potentially flip a Nevada, he would tie in that scenario. So it just shows you that going back to the toss-up map, Pennsylvania really is critical. It is a critical state for both campaigns to win. I think at this point, Joe Biden is the favorite based on mail-in voting. But we see in the western part of the state that Donald Trump has a lot of appeal here. He ran up the margins just like he did in Ohio. And it's going to be one of those states where you're going to be able to see trends. It was a state that was won by Trump. If we see him losing by convincing margins, then we can begin to assume that a state such as Michigan would also flip to Joe Biden. Potentially Arizona and Wisconsin would also flip back, and the blue wall, so to speak, would be rebuilt. So it's really one of those states. It's very complex. In the east part of the state, you have a lot of voters like in the Northeast. It is a very democratic part of the state. Philadelphia, the surrounding suburbs, that's really where Joe Biden's going to run up margins with suburban women. And as you go ex-urban, as you begin to leave the city, you'll see obviously a lot more Trump flags. You're going to see it's more of a Trumpian area. And that's where Trump is going to run up his margins in the middle of the state, potentially winning something like an Erie County, which went for Obama convincingly in both 2008 and 2012. So Pennsylvania, not only is the 20 electoral votes important, but the fact that the state can show trends. And that's fair to assume that a state like Michigan and Wisconsin, and even Arizona, any of these states that went to Donald Trump, if we see Joe Biden overperforming Hillary Clinton, that would be a trend that he's potentially winning this election. But just factoring in the possibility of a Trump upset, factoring in the possibility of Trump holding on to a lot of these states, and many Republican pundits believe that at this point, Donald Trump's floor for electoral votes is 248. So that would mean that Joe Biden's ceiling is 290 electoral votes. 290. That would mean he would flip either Maine's 1st district or Nebraska's district. So I'm just going to give him Maine for the sake of the hypothetical, as well as the Rust Belt and the state of Arizona. That's what many Republican pundits believe to be Joe Biden's ceiling, which is a fair prediction. I think that this might be the result on Election Day. However, a state like Pennsylvania, it's 20 electoral votes, so critically important. And now we could also delve into Joe Biden's pathway as well, putting the toss-up map as it was. Hypothetically, let's say we give Donald Trump Florida. We give Donald Trump North Carolina. Donald Trump's able to hold the state of Arizona. He's able to hold the district in Maine as well as the state of Nebraska. So we're saying everything but the Rust Belt stays for Donald Trump. The only thing that Joe Biden would have to do is flip Wisconsin, flip Michigan, and flip the biggest prize, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, the biggest prize of them all. And that's exactly why it's important. I think the electoral votes are significant, the 20 electoral votes, as well as the trends of the state. We saw that Democrats really did very well. They won convincing margins in their governor's race. They picked up some House seats as well. And to see trends in a state such as Pennsylvania move towards the Democrats is definitely good for Joe Biden. However, a potential upset going through Donald Trump's pathway to 270, it would have to go through Pennsylvania. He really does not have a realistic shot at this point for something like a Michigan or Wisconsin. Pennsylvania is his best path. His lead is Joe Biden's lead is the smallest in the state of Pennsylvania, and giving it to Donald Trump will, I believe, would probably ensure him a second term, because that would mean that he would be holding on to the rest of the map. He'd likely be winning Florida by a couple points, likely winning North Carolina by a couple points, as well as a lot of these other southern states. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really, just to summarize, Donald Trump's pathway to victory depends on Pennsylvania. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one, and make sure, please subscribe. Please like my videos, and I will see you in the next one.